Good evening, everyone. We are so excited that you are here to join us tonight for what truly is, I believe, the best Christmas pageant ever. And yes, I agree. And part of that is because we have the best kids ever in this show. My name is Heidi Garside. I am one of many parents from Foundation Christian School that have been part of putting on this program tonight. There are so many people I could thank for all of their contributions, but hopefully you got a program or you can share one with your families or some on the back table, and you can see all those names of your kids and the friends and family that you know that have just worked so many hours. And so I'm glad that we can honor their work tonight and celebrate all those achievements. You know, one thing that has been such a blessing to me is to listen to our kids pray before our class time. We basically had a class at our Monday school, so we've had 10 weeks of 1-hour classes to mostly put this together. We did have some extra rehearsals for our leads, but so in just 10 weeks, these kids have come together and worked hard. But listening to those kids pray, their heart is to give this gift to you. Their heart is for the story of Jesus and the difference that he makes in their lives. And they've been praying for you, the people that would come and hear about Jesus tonight. The fact that he loved us enough to send his son and come into this world and to live the life as a man, a perfect man, so that he could pay the price for our sins when he died on the cross, and that he conquered death, and he took that wrath of the sin, and he rose again and lives in heaven today. And when we know that Jesus, when we know that he did that for us, our lives are truly changed. This story is a story about Imogene Herdman and her rough and tumble brothers and sister who really need Jesus. And when they meet him, he changes their life. And our prayer for you is that you meet Jesus here tonight, that you see him, and that he will forever change your life. So that is why we're giving this gift to you, because we want to share that. And I'm so proud of our kids and their desire for that. Now, one of the things about our little theater program is we're a volunteer group. Students contribute a little bit, very little, $10 a student to be involved in this production. But we love doing this. And the way that we do that is we need to keep doing this, and we are going to ask tonight, if you are blessed and if you want to, at the end of our show tonight, we are going to have a minute to give it little time with our cast members. And so we will put 1 minute on the clock, and our cast members will come out with their Christmas stockings and props. And if you're blessed and can give to our theater program, then we would be grateful. Next spring, we hope to produce Peter Pan. And so any proceeds that we get from that will go straight into our program so that these kids can have more opportunities to bless and share their gifts and talents with you. So that'll happen afterwards. Also, there was already hot chocolate out in the courtyard that you were able to give a donation to as the Lord leads. And also there'll be goodies and other things that you can do that. If you have nothing to give, don't worry about it. Take a goodie. Take some hot chocolate. Sit here. Be blessed. Let us share this gift with you. But we thank you so much for being here. I'm going to pray, and then we're going to start our show. Heavenly Father, I just thank you so much for these amazing students who have given sacrificially of their time and their families. And it's because we love what you did for us when you sent Jesus. And we just thank you, and we do pray that all of our lives would be changed forever because of what you did. Lord, we just ask that you would shine your love tonight in this place as we worship you through the best Christmas pageant ever.
The Herdmans were the worst kids in the whole history of the world. They lied and stole and smoked cigars, even the girls, and talked dirty and cussed their teachers, and took the name of the Lord in vain, and set fire to Fred Shoemaker's old broken-down tool house.
Oh no, it's gonna burn down to the ground.
I guess the Hermans are bored again.
I can't believe it's still hanging around. Everyone knows they did it.
I just saw you make some refreshments. Here's some ham sandwiches, courtesy of the Tasty Lunch Diner. I hope you'll visit us for a meal sometime.
Thank you, miss. If you'd excuse me, I have a young hoodlum to catch. Did you kids start this fire by smoking cigars in the tool house? No.
You kids should never play with matches or dangerous things like that. I'm not saying that's what happened here. I don't know what happened here, but that could have been it, and you see the result. So let that be a lesson to all you boys and girls.
Yes, sir. You don't have to worry about us. At least most of us.
Good. Now we have to get back to work. You all stand back.
We just wanted to see if our chemistry set was any good.
You mean the chemistry set that you stole?
The one that we found.
And all I did was mix all the little powders together and put lighter fluid on it.
And then set it on fire. You were using matches.
Yeah, but we weren't smoking cigars.
And now I won't get a chance to make any bombs.
Look at all these sandwiches and our favorite.
Yeah.
There ain't any Christmas yet.
I guess we learned a good lesson.
Yeah, if there's a fire, we get free food.
My mother says the herdmen should be banned from public places. They're nothing but trouble. I heard Miss May from the Tasty Lunch Diner bought ham sandwiches for the firemen, and the herdmans had the nerve to take them all.
Well, I heard that they wrote this really, really dirty word on the back of Naomi Waddle's favorite pet turtle. So now, Naomi can't take it to the YMCA pet show. Her mother won't let her.
What was the word?
Oh! And that's not all. They did it with fluorescent paint, so it glows in the dark. When you can't even see the turtle, you can still see the word.
I'm going to tell my mother.
And that's not all. They put a whole bunch of tadpoles in the school drinking fountain, and Miss Barnes swallowed 2 or 3 by mistake. Somebody yelled, "Mildred, stop! You're drinking tadpoles!" But it was too late.
Did she get sick?
Not right away.
I can't stand the herdmans. I told you they're nothing but trouble.
You're just mad because Imogen found out you got lice at camp and told the whole school.
I never. It was so all around awful you could hardly believe they were real. Ralph, Imogene, Leroy, Claude, Ollie, and Gladys. 6 tall, stringy-haired kids, all alike, except for being different sizes and having different black and blue places where they had clumped each other. They lived over a garage at the bottom of Sproul Hill. Where other people had grass, they had rocks. In their front yard, there was a sign that said, "Beware the cat." New kids laughed about that, till they got a look at the cat.
I don't think it's a cat at all. I think the Herdmans went up to the hills and caught a bobcat.
I didn't think you can tame a bobcat.
They'll never try to tame it. They just try to make it wilder than it was in the first place. All I know is that it's one scaly cat. It will attack anything it can see with its one eye.
Yeah, remember what it did to Mr. Brando's class when Claude brought it for show and tell?
Claude heard me. You get that one to the garbage box right now.
We went through the Woodrow Wilson school like those South American fish that strip your bones clean. They went around town the same way, stealing things and tearing things up and whamming kids. So it was hard to get away from them. There was only one safe place: church.
Hour of prayers, we hour of prayer, because there are no herdmans there. And Jesus loves us, as they say, because he keeps the miles away.
That's my brother Charlie. It didn't go over too well when he shared his sentiments about the Herdmans in front of the whole church.
We'd like to welcome our children to our service today. Miss Lantry and our Sunday school class have prepared something special for us.
Today, our children have been thinking about what they like best about coming to church. Who wants to go first? Yes. Beverly?
What I like best about coming to Sunday school is the feeling I get when I come.
Very nice. Now, let's hear from Kathy.
I like learning songs about Jesus. I like my teacher in God.
Yes.
My favorite part is hearing the Bible stories.
Very nice, children. I think we have time for one more. Charlie, what can you tell us about Sunday school?
What I like best about coming to Sunday school is that there aren't any herdmans here. I don't care what everyone else said. That's what they really thought. All those other things are okay, but the main good thing about Sunday school is that the herdmans aren't there. Ever.
That's not a very Christian sentiment, it seems to me.
It's a very practical sentiment. Charlie was black and blue all last year because he had to sit next to Leroy Herdman at school.
Is he the worst one? Leroy?
They're all the worst one.
Ralph's the biggest, so if Ralph gets you...
That doesn't make any difference. Gladys isn't big, but she's fast and mean, and she bites.
Sorry I asked. Just stay away from all of them.
That's what I said. Stay away from them. Go to church.
I'm glad to hear you feel that way.
Why?
No arguments this year about the Christmas pageant.
I don't want to be a shepherd again.
Then tell Mrs. Armstrong you want to be a wise man.
But I don't want to be in it.
Everybody's in it. Think about how I'd feel sitting there on Christmas Eve if my own children weren't in the pageant. Think how your father would feel. You'd feel terrible, wouldn't you, Bob?
Well, actually, I didn't plan to go. You know how crowded it always is. They can use my seat. I'll just stay home, put on my bathrobe, relax. There's never anything different at the Christmas pageant.
There's going to be something different this year.
What?
Charlie's going to wear your bathrobe.
You just thought that up, Grace.
Why don't you be Joseph? Elmer Hopkins will pay you $1 to be Joseph. Elmer's sick of being Joseph all the time, just because his father's the minister. Nobody wants to be Joseph.
Nobody wants to be in it.
What are you going to be this year?
I'm always in the angel choir.
Why can't Charlie be in the angel choir?
Because I can't sing.
Well, from what I've heard in the past, that's not a serious drawback. You're always supposed to be like a closet full of mice. You were in the angel choir.
Bed sheets.
Oh boy, some choice. A bathroom or bed sheets. Come on, let's go watch TV.
You know, Mrs. Armstrong works very hard to make this a lovely experience for everybody.
Oh, Mom, Mrs. Armstrong just likes to run things.
They're right, of course. She directs the pageant, she runs potluck supper, she's chairman of the bazaar. Why, I think Helen Armstrong would preach the sermon if they'd let her.
Is that George Armstrong's wife?
Yes.
Well, maybe she'll try to manage the hospital, because that's where she is. I saw George at the drugstore, and he told me his wife broke her leg this morning. She'll be in traction for 2 weeks and laid up for the first of the year.
The first of the year? Why, they'll have to cancel Christmas.
She's in charge of Christmas?
Well, she's in charge of the pageant. She's in charge of the bazaar. Why, I feel sorry for Helen, but who's going to do all those things?
Yes, I'll take over the bazaar, Jane, if you'll do the potluck supper. I don't know what in the world we'll do about the pageant. Unless, what about Grace?
I can't. I've got company all Christmas week. How about Grace?
How about Grace?
Hello? Grace?
Bob, I have to direct the pageant.
Does that mean I have to go?
Our Christmas pageant isn't what you call four-star entertainment. Mrs. Armstrong breaking her leg was the only unexpected thing that ever happened to it. It was always the same old Christmas story and the same old carols and the same old Mary and Joseph. And that's what my mother was stuck with. That and Mrs. Armstrong.
Tell you again, Grace, how important it is to give everyone a chance. Here's what I do. I always start with Mary and tell them we must choose our Mary carefully because Mary was the mother of Jesus.
I know that, Helen.
Yes, then I tell them about Joseph, that it was God's choice to be Jesus' father. That's how I explain that. Frankly, I don't ever spend much time on Joseph because it's always Elmer Hopkins, and he knows all about Mary and Joseph. Where was Reverend Hopkins? I'd like to know. He was what? Visiting shut-ins? Well, I'm shut-in, and he wasn't visiting me.
I thought Mrs. Armstrong was in traction. How can she be talking on the phone if she's in traction?
What do you think traction is?
Like when they put you to sleep?
No such luck. Beth, we need salt and pepper. And napkins.
You'll have to get someone to push the baby angels on. Otherwise, they'll get in each other's way and bend their wings. Bob could do that. He could keep an eye on the shepherds, too. Remind the angel choir not to stare at the audience and don't let them wear lipstick or things like that. And don't let them wear clunky shoes or high heels. And don't let them wear clunky shoes or high heels either. I just hope you don't have too many baby angels, Grace, because they'll be your biggest problem.
You'll leave some for the rest of us, won't you, Charlie?
I'm hungry. Leroy Herdman stole my lunch again.
How can you let him do that to you day after day?
How can I stop him? Where's the chicken?
Grace, where's the chicken?
It's still in the oven.
I'll get it.
You'll have to get someone to push the baby angels on. Otherwise, they'll get in each other's way and bend their wings. Bob could do that. He could keep an eye on the shepherds, too. Oh, another thing about the angel choir. Don't let them wear lipstick. They think because it's a play
Helen, I have to go. There's someone at my door.
that they have to wear lipstick, and it looks terrible. So tell them.
Someone at my door, Helen. I'll talk to you later. Yes, I'm coming.
Lady, can I have some supper? I haven't had a square meal in 3 days.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, it's you. Come in. What will the neighbors think with you ringing your own doorbell? And why didn't you do it 10 minutes ago?
Will that woman ever let us eat in peace?
Well, I guess Helen feels lonely at the hospital.
Not as long as the telephones are working.
I'll bet she told you about no small parts, only small actors.
And getting someone to shove the baby angels on and make the shepherds shut up.
Yes, she suggested your father.
Does that mean I have to go?
My mother didn't pay much attention to Mrs. Armstrong. She said Mrs. Armstrong was stuck in the hospital with nothing to do but think up problems. And there weren't going to be any problems. Of course, my mother didn't count on the Herdmans. That was Charlie's fault.
Hey, Leroy, you give me back my lunch.
Sure, kid. Here.
You stole my dessert again.
How do you know?
Because it isn't here.
What was it?
2 Twinkies.
That's right. That's what it was.
Hey, Leroy, you think it's so great to steal my dessert every day, and you know what? I don't care if you steal my dessert. I'll even give you my dessert. I get all the dessert I want in Sunday school.
Oh, yeah? What kind of dessert?
All kinds. Chocolate cake and cookies and candy bars and Twinkies and big wheels. We get refreshments all the time, all we want.
You're a liar.
And donuts, and cupcakes, and ice cream.
Who gives them to you?
The minister.
Why? Is he crazy?
No, I think he's rich.
Sunday school. Huh.
That was the wrong thing to tell the Herdmans. And sure enough, the very next Sunday, there they were in Sunday school, just in time to hear about the Christmas pageant.
Hey, what's a pageant?
It's a play.
Like on TV? What's it about?
It's about Jesus.
Everything here is.
And it's about Mary. Mostly it's about Mary.
Who's Mary?
I am. Well, probably I am. I know the part.
Come on, Beth, Charlie, you and come. Now, this won't take very long if you all settle down. We're going to decide who will play the main roles in our Christmas pageant. But of course, everyone will have an important part to play. You know what Miss Armstrong always says? There are no small parts, only small actors. Isn't that Miss
She always says, but she never says what it means.
Don't you know what it means?
I know what it means. It means that the short kids have to be in the front row of the angel choir, or else nobody can see them.
Not exactly. It really means that the littlest baby angel is just as important as Mary.
I don't think anyone's as important as Mary.
Well, naturally, that's what you think, Alice. I think Jesus is more important.
I still think it means the short kids have to be in the front row.
Girls, everyone is important. Mary, Jesus, and the short kids. Now, is everyone here? Beverly, will you please step out in the hall and see if anyone else is coming? Now, you little children will be our angels, so please remind your parents that you will need bed sheets. People in the angel choir will need bed sheets. Well, let's make some room for the Herdmans. Now, what happened to Beverly?
I think she went home. I think she got sick.
Did she say she was sick?
She just left. All I did was, I just said, "Hi, Beverly," and she just left.
I see. Well, will someone please tell Beverly about the rehearsals, the next 4 Wednesdays after school? Plan to be here for everyone.
Well, what if we get sick?
You won't get sick, of course. Mary and Joseph must absolutely come to every rehearsal.
Well, what if they get sick?
They won't get sick either.
Well, Beverly got sick, and we haven't even started yet.
We don't know that Beverly got sick. Now, I want you guys to think about Mary and what kind of person she was. She was quiet, gentle, and kind. And the person that plays Mary should try to be that kind person. Now, who would like to volunteer for that part? Did you have a question, Imogen?
No, I want to be Mary. And Rob over here, he wants to be Joseph.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'll just make a list of volunteers and then we'll decide who will get the roles. Ralph Herdman. Now, who else would like to be Joseph? Did you raise your hand, Elmer?
No.
Any volunteers? Just raise your hands, please. Any of you shepherds? Very well. Ralph Herdman will be our Joseph. And Imogen has volunteered to be Mary. I'll just write that down. What other names can I put on my list? Janice? Roberta? Alice? Don't you want to volunteer?
No, I don't want to.
I'll be Mary. Shut up, Gladys. I'm already married. You be Wiseman.
Well, Wise men are usually boys. Of course, we could.
I'll be a wise man.
Me too! Claude, you want to be a wise man? Raise your hand!
What's a wise man?
Just raise your hand.
What's left?
Some angel.
I'll be that. What is it?
It's the angel of the Lord who brought the good news to the shepherds. There! We do have some volunteers after all. Yes, George, would you like to be a wise man?
No, I just wanted to say I can't be shepherd. I'm going to Philadelphia.
Why didn't you say so before?
I just remembered.
My mother doesn't want me to be a shepherd.
Why not?
She just said, don't be a shepherd.
I'm not going to be a shepherd.
Yes, you are. What's the matter with all of you?
I'm not going to be a shepherd. Gladys Herdman hits me.
Why, Gladys isn't going to hit anybody. The angel of the Lord just visits the shepherds in the fields and tells them Jesus is born.
Yeah, and hits them.
Elmer?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's ridiculous, and I don't want to hear another word about it. No shepherds may quit or get sick. Now that's all for today, boys and girls, and you can go. But I expect to see everyone here on Wednesday at 6:30. Alice, why in the world didn't you raise your hand?
I don't know.
You don't know, Alice. I expected you. To volunteer. Don't you want to be Mary?
Oh, come on, Alice. I don't know. I didn't dare raise my hand. Imogen would have killed me. She said, I'm going to be Mary in this play. And if you open your mouth or raise your hand, you'll wish you didn't. And then I said, I'm always Mary in the Christmas pageant. And she said, go ahead then. And next spring, when the pussy willows come out, I'll stick a pussy willow so far down your ear that no one will be able to reach it. And it'll sprout there and grow and grow. And I spend the rest of my life with a pussy willow bush growing out of my ear. You know she wouldn't do that.
She would too. The Herdmans will do anything. You just watch. They'll do something terrible and ruin the whole pageant. And it's all your mother's fault.
Jane, Edna McCarthy. Did you hear about the... Well, it must be Grace's fault somehow. How else would all 6 of them end up in our Christmas pageant when they ought to be in jail?
Vera, Irma Slocum, I just heard Imogen Herdman is going to be Mary in the Christmas pageant, and is that a fact? All 6 of them? Vera, I live next door to that outfit, and I would rather live next door to a zoo. Has Grace gone crazy? Come from? Who let them in? Imogen Herdman? What kind of child is that to be Mary, the mother of Jesus? Where was Reverend Hopkins? I'd like to know. He was what? Visiting shut-ins? Well, I'm shut-in, and he wasn't visiting me.
I said, why don't you let them hand out programs at the door? Grace said we never have programs for the pageant, but I said,
Better nail down the church and lock up the silver service and hide the collection plates before they clean them out.
What's the matter with Grace? Couldn't she send them away? Tell them to go home? Oh, I feel responsible. If I'd been up and around, this never would have happened.
If I had been up and around, this never would have happened. Let me tell you.
Don't tell me. I'm on your side.
The car's over there.
Helen Armstrong is not the only woman alive who can run a Christmas pageant. I've done the best I could under circumstances to make this the best Christmas pageant ever. And I'm going to do it with the Herdmans. After all, they raised their hands and no one else did, so I don't care.
Good for you, Grace. The car's over there.
And you're going to help me.
Does that mean?
Yes, you have to go. Now, children, this is our first rehearsal, so let's imagine what the set looks like. The inn is back here off stage. Shepherds gather around the manger.
Hey, where'd all the shepherds come from anyway?
What's it?
Yeah. Like a motel where people go to spend the night.
What people? Jesus?
Oh, honestly, Jesus wasn't even born yet. Mary and Joseph went there?
Why? To pay their taxes.
At a motel?
Shut up, Wally. Everybody shut up. I want to hear her. Begin at the beginning.
The beginning?
The beginning of the play. What happens first?
Imogene, this is a Christmas story from the Bible. Haven't you ever heard the Christmas story from the Bible? Well, that's what this Christmas pageant is, so I'd better read it to you.
I don't believe that, do you? That they never heard the Christmas story? Why not? They don't even know what a Bible is.
Yeah, did you see what Gladys did to that Bible last week? While Imogen was making money from the collection plate, Gladys drew tales on the disciples in the picture Bible.
They never went to church in their whole life, till that dumb brother told them we got refreshments, which we don't, and now we have to waste all this time for nothing. Charlie just told him that because he was sick of Leroy taking his lunch.
All right now, there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went up from Galilee with Mary his wife, being great with child.
Pregnant.
All right now, we all know that she was pregnant. And it came to pass while they were there that the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son.
I don't think it's very nice to say Mary was pregnant. Well, she was. I'm not supposed to talk about people being pregnant in church.
And wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
My God! You didn't have room for Jesus?
Well, they didn't know the baby was going to be Jesus.
Didn't Mary know? Didn't he know? What was the matter with Joseph that he told them her pregnant and everything?
Hey, what's a manger? Some kind of a bed?
Well, they didn't have a bed in the barn, so they had to use whatever there was. What would you do if you had a new baby and no bed to put the baby in?
We put Gladys in the dressing drawer.
Well, there you are. You didn't have a bed for Gladys, so you had to use whatever there was.
No. He had a bed. Only Ollie was still in. He didn't want to get out. He didn't like Gladys. Remember how you didn't like Gladys?
That was pretty smart of Ollie, not to like Gladys right off the bat.
Anyway, a manger is a large wooden feeding trough for animals.
What were the wadded up clothes?
The what?
It said in there she wrapped him in wadded up clothes.
Swaddling clothes. People used to wrap up babies in big pieces of material to make them feel cozy.
You mean they tied him up and put him in a feed box? Where was the child welfare?
Yeah, child welfare's at our house every 5 minutes.
There wasn't any child welfare in Bethlehem?
I'll say there wasn't.
And there were shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of... What?
I'm black knight with horrible vision from a mighty sorrow.
I don't know what you're talking about, Gladys.
The mighty Marvel in amazing comics. I'm black knight with horrible vengeance.
This is the angel of the Lord who brought the good news to the shepherds.
Out of nowhere, right? In the black knight, right?
Well, in a way. Now, when Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east, bearing gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh.
What's that?
Well, they were special things, spices and precious oils.
Oil? What kind of president's oil? Even we get better presents from welfare.
Were they the welfare? The wise men?
No, dumbbell, it means President of the United States.
Why, Claude, that's very close, but actually they were kings.
Well, it's about time someone important showed up. If they're kings, they could get the baby out of the barn and tell the innkeeper where to get off.
Well, they were sent by Herod, who was, well, the main king, and he wanted to find Jesus and have him put to death.
My God! We're gonna kill a baby? He just got born!
Yeah, who is Herod in this play?
Herod isn't in the play.
He's out to kill the baby? And he isn't even in the play?
Well, somebody better be Herod. Let Charlie be Herod. He says, go give me that baby, and they'll say okay because he's king and all.
And they don't do it. They go back and get Herod. Take that, Herod, take that.
I'm not gonna be Herod.
Forget about Herod! There's no Herod!
No, Joseph gets the shepherd's children, and they go wipe out Herod.
See, they're gonna put a Herod in the plate, and it's gonna be me, and I'm gonna get killed.
There's no Herod!
And then I run off the baby so the fight's over.
Yeah, hey, Rob.
Somebody better fix that innkeeper up too. Gladys, you wipe out the innkeeper.
I can't. I'm an angel.
I couldn't believe how interested in the Bible and the Christmas story the Herdmans were. I kind of took it all for granted, but they couldn't stop talking about it.
Wouldn't just hang around in the barn. I get a room.
But she said there wasn't any room.
Well, then I throw someone out. I tell them, hey, I got this baby and it's the middle of winter, so either get out or move over.
Yeah, you do that. I'll go after Herod.
I would send an angel after Herod. She could just point her electric fingers at him and turn him into a pile of ashes.
What's the name of the play? She never said.
Yeah, she did. It's called Christmas Pageant.
That's no name. That's what it is.
I know a name. I'd call it Revenge at Bethlehem.
Oh, yeah.
So, how did the first rehearsal with the Herdmans go?
Well, just suppose you had never heard the Christmas story before. What would you think?
I guess I would think it was pretty disgraceful that they couldn't find any room for a pregnant woman except in a stable.
Exactly. It was perfectly disgraceful. And I had never thought about it that much before.
I can't believe you two were taking side with the Herdmans.
Yeah, the Herdmans thought the Christmas story came straight out of the FBI files.
Well, it's clear to me that deep down those children have some good instincts after all.
It sounds like their chief instinct was to kill Herod alive.
Their chief instinct was to get Mary and the baby out of the barn. It was Herod they wanted to do away with, not Mary and Joseph. At least they picked out the right villain.
What did finally happen to Herod?
I don't know, but I think the Herdmans are going to find out. I wouldn't be surprised if they found out he was their relative, Herod Herdman.
What do you mean they're going to find out?
They're asking about how to get a book from the library. Poor Mrs. Slocum. At the next rehearsal, they wanted to rewrite the pageant and hang Herod for the finish. They couldn't stand the fact that he died in a bed of old age. Baby Jesus was safe, but quit the pageant anyway. It was supposed to be Eugene Slocum, but Mrs. Slocum said she wasn't going to let Imogene Herdman get her hands on her grandson. So we didn't have a baby Jesus, and that bothered my mother. She kept trying to scratch up a baby, even at the last rehearsal. What do you keep writing in that book?
It's like a diary.
It's not. It's all about the Herdmans. Imogene curses and swears all the time. Ralph talks about dirty things. Mrs. Bradley called Mary pregnant. Gladys Herdman drinks communion wine. It isn't wine, it's grape juice.
I don't care what it is. I've seen her 3 times with her mouth all purple. They steal too. If you shake the birthday bank, it doesn't make a sound because they stole all the pennies out of it. And every time you go to the ladies' room, the whole air is blue. And Imogene Herdman is sitting there in the Mary costume smoking cigars.
And you wrote all this down? What for?
For my mother and Reverend Hopkins and the Ladies' Aid Society and anybody else who wants to know what happened when this whole pageant turns out to be a big mess.
Everyone, let's get quiet. Beth, will you and Alice please come up front so we can get started? So, this is our last rehearsal, and we're going to...
Grace, I just wanted to tell you that we're all back in the kitchen making applesauce cake. We'll try not to bother you. I guess this is your dress rehearsal.
It's supposed to be. Oh, Edna, didn't I hear that your niece had a baby a month or so ago?
A little girl?
Yes, she's 5 weeks old and...
Well, I wonder how it would be if I were to call and ask if we could borrow...
Grace, no. I could make up some lie and tell you that she's sick or cranky or something. But the truth is she's perfectly healthy, happy, and beautiful. And we all want her to stay that way. So we certainly aren't going to hand her over to Imogene Herdman. Sorry, Grace.
Mrs. Bradley, you can have my little brother for Jesus.
I didn't know you had a new baby, Daisy.
He's not new. He's 4 years old, but he's double jointed and he could probably scrunch up.
Well, I don't think...
I'll get us a baby.
How are you going to do that?
There's always like 2 or 3 babies in carriages at the park. I'll go get one of them.
Imogene, you cannot just walk off with someone's baby. Forget about the baby. We'll just use the doll.
That's probably better anyways. A doll can't bite you.
And Imogene, you know, Mary didn't wear earrings.
But I have to wear these. I just got them pierced, and if there's nothing in them, they'll close up.
Well, they won't close in an hour and a half. What did the shop tell you to do?
What shop?
Well, who pierced your ears?
Gladys.
Probably did it with an ice pick. I'll bet Imogene's ears turn black and fall off.
Is that your costume? Is that what you guys are going to wear? You guys are all supposed to have your costumes on today.
I can't find my halo. My wig's out. Dad's got my robe. My mother doesn't have any white sheets. Can I wear a sheet with balloons on it? Come on. I don't have any costume. I was never a shepherd before.
You have to wear your dad's bathrobe. That's what I have to do.
My dad doesn't have a bathrobe.
Then, what does he hang around the house in?
His underwear?
All right, well, pretend you're wearing costumes.
Are we going through the whole thing?
Yes, of course. We'll start with the entrances. So everyone go where you're supposed to be, and the shepherds will go first. Just read the last few words, Maxine.
Shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night.
Music, shepherds.
And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and...
No! No! Go on, Maxine.
a multitude of the heavenly host.
Music, angels. Music, wise men.
I got this, baby. Don't touch him. I named him Jesus.
No, you don't say anything. Mary doesn't say anything. Nobody says anything.
Let go.
Mary and Joseph make a lovely picture for us to look at while we think about Christmas and what it means. Now put the doll back.
I'm not going to say anything. Some angel calls him baby. I would have just named him Bill.
What a terrible thing to say.
What angel was that? There's angels all over the place. Was that Gladys?
No, Gladys brought the good news to the shepherds.
Yeah, Auntie, a child was born.
Not unto them, me. I'm the one who had the baby.
No, Jesus belongs to everybody. Unto all of us a child is born.
Why didn't they let Mary name her own baby? What did the angel do? Just walk up and say, name him Jesus?
Yes!
I know what the angel said. She said, his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
My God, he'd never have this grade to write all of that.
Why did you have to say all of that?
Now we'll never get out of here.
Mrs. Bradley, what should we do? Should we start over? Water.
5 minutes, Maxine. 5 minutes.
We'll be right back.
There's no...
We never did start over, and we never did go through the whole thing. Those 5 minutes turned into 15 minutes, and Imogene Herdman spent the whole time smoking cigars in the ladies' room. Then Mrs. McCarthy went in the ladies' room and saw the smoke, and called the fire department, and they came right away. They cleared everybody out of the building and dragged a fire hose to the church, looking for a fire to put out. But the only one they found was in the kitchen. All the applesauce cake had burned up. Of course, all the ladies were mad about that. And Mrs. McCarthy was mad. And my mother was mad.
Well, did you call the fire department for a little bit of smoke?
It was a lot of smoke. The ladies' room was full of thick smoke.
It couldn't have been. You just got excited. And now look, the church is filled with firemen, the streets are filled with baby angels crying, there's shepherds climbing all over the fire truck, and half the neighborhood... Didn't you know it was cigar smoke?
No, I didn't know it was cigar smoke. I didn't expect to find cigar smoke in the ladies' room of the church.
I've been on the telephone all day, and I can't make heads or tails of it. Some people say they set fire to the ladies' room, some people say they set fire to the kitchen, and Vera Wendelkin says all they do is talk about you-know-what in underwear.
That was Hobie Clark talking about underwear, and they didn't set fire to anything. The only fire was in the kitchen where the applesauce cake burned up.
Well, the whole church is in an uproar. I don't know. Jesus said, "Suffer the little children to come unto me," but I'm not so sure he meant the Herdmans. Grace, don't you think we could cancel the pageant?
I'll bet that was Helen Armstrong's idea.
We could blame it on the fire. It makes a good excuse.
I'll bet that was Edna McCarthy's idea.
Well, everyone seems to think it's going to be a...
Disaster? Well, they're wrong. This is going to be the best Christmas pageant we've ever had.
But Grace, I don't think anyone is going to come to see it.
I didn't think so either, and neither did Charlie. We were wrong. On Christmas Eve, the whole church was jammed full. Everybody came to see what the Herdmans would do.
Watch your step. Just wait till I turn the lights on.
I can't even see where I'm going. I don't know what in the world you expect to do with this thing.
Well, I thought it might look like a palm tree. I see now that it doesn't. Oh, I don't have any idea what's going to happen tonight. We've never once gone through the whole thing, and the Herdmans still think it's some type of spy story. This may be the first Christmas pageant in history where Joseph gets in a fight with the wise men, and Mary runs off with the baby. Where are the kids?
All the kids in the world are in the basement, putting on bed sheets.
I mean, our kids.
We're here.
It's getting late. Go get your costumes on.
It's just gonna be awful. They look like Trick or Treat, all dirty and fastened together, and wearing their moldy old sneakers. Mary and Joseph, I mean. They look like refugees or something.
That's what they were, Mary and Joseph. They were refugees in a way. They didn't know anybody. They were a long way from home. They were cold and hungry, and tired, and messy.
I don't know about cold and hungry, but they sure were messy.
Oh dear. Do you think I should...
I think you worry too much. I push baby angels on stage and hand out shepherd's crooks and then push them on stage. When do I do all that?
Just follow the script.
Baby angels, shepherds, wise men. It doesn't seem to say where the fire engines come in.
Oh my...
Just kidding.
Now, is everybody here? I want to see how you all look on the stage. Gladys, where's your halo?
Our cat buried it. Listen, I think we ought to say something besides the baby came. Why would they all just get up and tear off some baby they don't even know? I ought to tell them that it's Jesus, and I ought to tell them where he is.
Oh, Gladys, Jesus is born. Now, let's all and luck.
Mrs. Bradley, actors don't say good luck. They say break a leg.
I know, Alice, but in this case, those of you that don't know what that means, it's just a theatrical saying. It doesn't really mean break a leg, your own or anyone else's. And Imogene, try to remember that that's a baby. And for tonight anyways, it's the baby Jesus.
Just you.
In the days of Caesar Augustus, a decree went out that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went into Bethlehem with Mary, his wife, who was great with child. And while they were there, she brought forth her firstborn son, wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
Lord. Look at them. Aren't they awful? What's that she's doing with the baby? Oh, I don't think it's very nice to burp the baby Jesus as if he's had colic.
Well, he could have colic just like any other baby.
I don't care. It looks awful. They look awful.
So what? They just came along right. Now they have no place to sleep. And they've got a new baby to worry about.
Who? Ralph and Imogene?
No, Mary and Joseph.
And in that region there were shepherds in the field, keeping watch over their flocks by night.
Shepherds watch their flocks by night, all seated on the ground. The angel of the Lord came down, and glory shone around. Said he, for mighty dread had seized their troubled minds. Glad tidings of great joy I bring to you and all mankind.
And an angel of the Lord appeared to them.
Hey! Hey! Unto you a child is born. It's Jesus, and he's in the barn. Go see him. Go on. He's over there. Go on.
And suddenly there was a multitude of the heavenly host, saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among men.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in
When Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east to worship him, bringing gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh.
We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we travel afar. Field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star of royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
Waffle too. And what's that Leroy's got? It's a ham.
A ham? I'll bet they stole it.
No, I think it's the ham from their welfare basket.
You mean it's their own ham? They must hate ham.
They love ham, and even if they hated him else, it's the only thing they ever gave away in their whole life.
Being warned in a dream that they should not return to their own country, the wise men departed another way. The shepherds also departed, praising God for all that they had seen and heard. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart.
Holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Beth, Brooke, Mary's crying. Mrs. Bradley, Mary's crying.
Jean Herdman and all the rest up there. Irma, this was the best Christmas pageant we've ever had, and I'm not sure why, but I think it was them. Could that be?
Oh, I always get whippy about the pageants. I guess it's the children and the carols and all, but you're right. This was the best one, and it should have been the worst.
There was just something different.
Well, the angel of the Lord was different.
Yes, but you know, I like that. Had lots of spirit. Sometimes you can't even hear the angel. I must find Grace and tell her.
I just wish now I'd let her have my grandson Eugene to be baby Jesus.
Who was the baby?
Why, it was a doll.
Oh, I don't think so, Irma. That was no doll.
Well, it did seem real.
It did seem real, as if it might have happened just that way. We all thought the pageant was about Jesus' birthday, but it was more than that. It was about God sending his son to be in a real family, a new baby and his mother and father who were in a whole lot of trouble. No money, no place to go, no doctor, nobody they knew. And then arriving from the east, like my uncle from New Jersey, some rich friends. Because of the Herdmans, it was a whole new story. Imogene burping the baby, and the wise men bring such sensible presents. After all, you couldn't eat frankincense. And even Gladys, he's in the barn, go see him. So the wise men didn't have to stumble all around, all over the countryside. But I guess it wasn't like that for Imogene. For her, the Christmas pageant turned out to be all the wonders and miracles, because she caught on to what Christmas is all about, our Savior, Jesus. When it was all over, we had a party in the basement, but the Herdmans didn't stay. They didn't have any cocoa, and they didn't walk off with all the cookies, and they wouldn't even take their candy canes.
I guess it's about it. Any kids left downstairs?
No, everyone's gone. And, you know, you still have your bathrobe on. You aren't going to wear it, are you?
Why not? Maybe people will take me as a shepherd. I wouldn't mind being taken for a shepherd in this Christmas pageant.
Yes, you would. When it was over, some lady came over and hugged me because I was a shepherd. Should I bring this ham?
It's the herdman's ham from their welfare basket, but they wouldn't take it back. Leroy said, it's a present. You don't give back a present.
Leroy said that? They must hate ham.
You went out as Wendelkin.
What about the lights?
They're on a timer. They go off at midnight.
That's not far away. It's almost Christmas.
Almost Christmas, kids.
Almost Christmas.
Came to pass in the days of, and the shepherds were abiding, a multitude praising God.
I bring you good tidings of great joy.
added in quick, but we want to thank you, Miss Heidi, for everything that